You know how sometimes you just want to really get something deep without wading through tons of jargon?
Yeah, to grasp the core of it, feel it almost.
Exactly. Well, today we're diving into the Bhagavad Gita, specifically chapter 11. It's this incredible moment where Arjuna gets a, well, mind-blowing vision.
Viswarupa Darsana Yoga, the yoga of the vision of the universal form. We'll also touch on chapter 12, Bhakti Yoga.
Right. So, setting up chapter 11, Arjuna's already learned a lot from Krishna, hasn't he? About duty, the self.
He has. He's absorbed these profound teachings, but now there's this intense desire bubbling up.
It's not just intellectual anymore.
No. He wants direct visual confirmation of Krishna's ultimate nature.
So in those first few verses, he basically asks for it.
He does. He says something like, okay, I believe what you've told me about your supreme nature. You're the ultimate source.
Look, can you show me?
Precisely. Show me that form. He acknowledges Krishna's power, but yearns for that direct experience to, dispel any lingering shred of doubt.
It's that very human thing, isn't it? Wanting proof, even for the transcendent.
It really is. And he feels this vision is key. So Krishna, seeing Arjuna's sincerity.
He agrees.
Yes, but he points out something crucial. Verses 5 to 8 explain this. He says, you can't see this with your normal eyes.
Ah, okay. So it's beyond ordinary human sight.
Completely. So Krishna grants him Divyam Chakshu, the divine eye.
A divine eye? What does that mean exactly? Like supervision?
It's more than just enhanced sight. It's a different kind of perception altogether, a way to perceive realities, dimensions, infinite forms, colors, things utterly beyond our normal senses.
Wow. Okay, so you need this special lens to even begin to comprehend the universal form.
You do, because what Arjuna is about to witness is, well, everything.
And we learn about this vision through Sanjoy, right? He's narrating it back.
Exactly. Sanjoy describes it to the blind king Dhritarashtra, and the description is just staggering.
Tell us. What does Sanjoy say Arjuna sees?
Countless mouths, countless eyes, divine ornaments, weapons, wondrous sights everywhere.
It sounds overwhelming.
Immensely so. Sanjoy compares its radiance to, like, thousands of suns suddenly blazing in the sky all at once. Just pure, blinding effulgence, all-encompassing.
Unimaginable. And how does Arjuna react? I mean, faced with that.
It's a mix. Deep, deep awe and wonder. But also intense fear.
Yeah.
Overwhelming fear.
I can believe it. What else does he see within this form?
He sees the entire universe contained within Krishna. All the gods, Brahma, Shiva, all beings, the cosmic order itself, everything happening simultaneously.
The whole of reality in one place.
Yes. And he sees powerful divine forces at work within it. It's not static.
You mentioned fear. Where does that really come in?
Well, there's a terrifying aspect, too. Arjuna sees beings, great warriors, even people he knows,
Yeah.
rushing into Krishna's fearsome mouths, being crushed between the teeth.
Ooh, that's intense. What does that represent?
It's often interpreted as the inescapable power of time, Kala, the destructive aspect of the universe, the cycle of creation and dissolution. It's not just the benevolent creator, it's also the ultimate destroyer.
So it's beautiful and terrifying all at once, the totality.
Exactly. The sheer power is awe-inspiring, but also deeply unsettling on a human level.
So Arjuna must be completely reeling from this.
Absolutely. Later in the chapter, verses 35 to 45, he's just overwhelmed. He's shaking, his hair stands on end.
And he starts asking questions.
Yes. He asks, who are you in this fierce form? He's trying to reconcile this terrifying vision with the Krishna he knows, his friend and guide.
But even in that fear, does he still recognize Krishna's divinity?
Oh, absolutely. That's crucial. Even terrified, he praises Krishna, acknowledging him as the origin, the sustainer, the ultimate goal of everything, the supreme being.
So the fear doesn't destroy his faith.
No, in fact, you could argue it deepens something else. This is where we start to see the seeds of bhakti, devotion, even within this cosmic awe.
How so? Amidst the terror.
Think about it. He's confronted with the ultimate power, the totality of existence, in all its glory and terror. And his reaction isn't just to shrink away. It's to surrender, to praise, to connect even more deeply with that source. His love and surrender are amplified.
So the overwhelming understanding leads to a more profound devotion.
It seems so for Arjuna. Witnessing the sheer magnitude of Krishna, the source of everything, intensifies his relationship, his reliance, his love. It's not just abstract knowledge anymore.
And Krishna does eventually calm things down.
Yes, importantly, Arjuna asks Krishna to return to his more gentle, familiar form. And Krishna does, reassuring him, emphasizing that this universal form is rarely seen. It highlights the value Krishna places on that personal connection too.
Okay, so chapter 11 is this peak experience. Intense, transformative, maybe even shattering.
Definitely a peak, almost unimaginable.
And then chapter 12 feels like, well, a shifting gear.
A very significant shift. It flows directly from chapter 11. After seeing the unmanifest made manifest in such an overwhelming way, the natural question arises.
What's the best way for us to connect? For people who haven't had that kind of vision.
Exactly. So chapter 12 is titled Bhakti Yoga, the Yoga of Devotion. And Arjuna asks Krishna point blank, which path is better?
Better than what?
Better between worshiping the abstract, formless, unmanifest, absolute, the Nirguna Brahman.
Versus worshiping the personal manifest God like Krishna himself, the Saguna Brahman.
Precisely. Which approach leads to perfection in yoga more effectively?
And what's Krishna's take on that?
His answer is pretty direct, right at the start of chapter 12. He says those who fix their minds on his personal form, worshiping him with constant, unwavering faith and devotion.
He considers them the most perfect in yoga.
Yes, he gives preference to the path of bhakti, devotion to the personal form.
Why do you think that is? Is the other path, focusing on the formless, somehow less valid?
Not necessarily less valid, but perhaps less accessible for many. Krishna acknowledges the difficulty, focusing the mind on something completely unmanifest, without attributes.
It's hard. Our minds tend to grasp onto forms, personalities, relationships.
Exactly. So bhakti yoga, this path of love, surrender, service directed towards a personal conception of the divine, often resonates more deeply and provides a more maybe practical pathway for most people.
It taps into our emotional core, our capacity for love and relationship.
It does. And Krishna doesn't just say, be devoted. He outlines different ways to practice bhakti yoga in chapter 12.
Oh, like what?
Well, the highest is to fix your mind completely on him. But if you can't do that constantly, then practice through regular devotional service, abhyasa yoga.
Okay, so there are levels or different approaches.
Yes, if you can't manage regular practice, then dedicate your actions to him. Work for his sake. And if even that's difficult, then relinquish the fruits, the results of your actions, finding refuge in him.
So it's a very accommodating path, really, meeting people where they are.
It is. It emphasizes that the connection through love and devotion is paramount and can be cultivated in various ways.
Okay, so let's recap a bit. Chapter 11, Arjuna's intense desire leads to this incredible, almost terrifying vision of the universal form.
A vision granted by divine sight, showing the totality of existence, evoking awe and fear, but ultimately deepening Arjuna's connection.
And right out of that intensity, Chapter 12 offers Bhakti Yoga, the path of devotion, as a more direct, accessible way to connect with the divine, particularly through a personal form like Krishna.
Highlighting love, surrender, service as powerful means to achieve union, contrasting with, but ultimately leading towards the same goal as, the path of meditating on the formless absolute.
It shows these two potent approaches, the overwhelming direct sight and the intimate path of the heart.
Both valid, both pointing towards the ultimate reality, but bhakti is presented as, perhaps, more readily graspable for many on the journey.
So as you're listening, maybe think about your own approach. Does understanding require that kind of intense, direct experience like Arjuna had? Or does the path of devotion, of cultivating love and surrender towards something beyond yourself, resonate more?
Yeah, is it the head or the heart that leads your quest for deeper truth? Or perhaps, how do they work together for you?
It's that ongoing journey, isn't it? Exploring which path, or maybe which blend of paths, truly connects you to the profound. Something to definitely keep exploring.